dream of. And I've got an exciting opportunity for you to do just that on offer, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So right now you might be in a position where your business is perhaps absolutely flying. In fact, perhaps you're so busy that you don't know how you can find time to sleep or eat. Or on the other hand, it might be that things have gone a little bit quiet lately and you're wondering if your business might need some serious boosting. Either way, I'm guessing that, like me, like most people in business, you've had your moments when you've thought, I really need to change the way my business works. I've got no doubt that you keep a pretty close eye on your business and you know when things aren't running quite the way you'd planned. You know when you or your team are wasting time or perhaps doing things inefficiently, but you might not be sure how or when you're going to find the time to fix all that. Well, I can assure you, if you want your business to thrive, you need to build a solid foundation of systems to support it. Systemising the things that are vital to how your business is organised and to how it functions. Because without them, it's just so easy to feel overwhelmed, to be overcommitted and feel as though you've just got no time for anything other than just running around day to day, putting out fires in your business and, well, simply getting through each day. So what is the answer? Well, we know that now, don't we? It's systemising. Now, you've recognised systemising is the key to driving your business, and it's also the way to reclaiming your precious time. And you've now armed with the 5 vital, smart, key questions that I provided you to ask yourself before systemising your business activities. So I guess the next question is, what is the next step? Well, before you start systemising, you need to be absolutely clear on what you're aiming to achieve through systemising with your business, because this will help you determine what systems you actually need or what existing systems you have that you might need to change. So these systems, by the way, might be processes and procedures, but they might also include the software packages, the software systems that you're currently using or that you might need to use. So if we take, for example, your financial accounting system, it might be that perhaps you want to know how quickly you can identify your sales trends, and you certainly should be able to. You might want to know what your most profitable products are or services are so that you can build on them and identify new opportunities. And you might want to see those at a glance. You might not want to have to go hunting through reports for them. Now, your current financial accounting package might not be set up to give you this information, or worse still, it might not have been kept effectively or kept current, so you can never be sure where your business is really at financially. Every business has financial drivers, and most of those commercial financial accounting packages out there, Xero, QuickBooks, MyOb, all of those, they can provide you with a dashboard when you first log in that shows exactly what's happening in your business around things like cash flow, sales, expenses, profit growth, etc. And what's more, the most popular of those accounting apps have got apps for your iPhone, your Android, your iPad, your tablet. So no matter where you are, if you've got one of those on you, you can access that real-time information, record information, upload receipts and invoice customers from anywhere, anytime. So it saves you having to hold on to various bits of paper and notes to put into your computer later. Anyway, so if you don't know your financial drivers, how can you know how well your business is running? It's kind of like driving a car blind, driving around with no gauges on your dashboard. So how do you know how much fuel you've got, or if your engine is overheating, or if your oil is getting too low? Financial reporting gives you insight into what's working for you and what isn't. And without that information, opportunities can be missed, and particularly if there's no time to look for them, and small problems will escalate, and they'll escalate really quick if they're not identified and dealt with. And then you won't be aware of changing market conditions and be prepared for them. You can just get left behind in the dust if that happens. So what are you aiming for? You need to know your ultimate outcomes. So we know that systemising your business is going to give you consistency across your operations, which is really important if you operate, say, in more than one location. And a business that I used to work for, which is now global, in the serviced office industry, they operate their businesses exactly the same in every location. Their team are trained to perform exactly the same in every location. Their layout and setup is the same in every location. So if you're a client of that business here in your country and then you go overseas, you have rights to go into that same business in another country because they are everywhere, and you can walk in there knowing that everything will be exactly the same. You'll know that there are meeting rooms available to you. You'll know that the staff will help you, that they'll have access to your data and information where they are. Now, if that's the kind of thing that appeals to you, systems are going to give that to you. Or it might be that you're after continuity of quality customer service, and let's face it, that's vital for your business. Systems are going to give you much greater productivity and efficiency because you're going to get rid of things like double handling, double entry. You're going to get rid of old outdated systems and processes and replace them with things that are current now and technologies that are current now. So you're also going to end up with a business that's far more valuable and ready to grow. But most importantly, you're going to free yourself up to have time to work on growing your business. So what criteria defines your outcomes? How do you determine what they are? Well, do you want to automate and integrate as much of your business as you can? And by that I mean, do you want to have software systems that talk to and update one another? So for example, if you put contact details of a client in one, it automatically uploads the others so that you don't have to log out of one and log into the other to put that information in. Do you want to expand your team and delegate the day-to-day functions of the business so that you can step back and spend less time on the day-to-day grind yourself? Do you want to introduce your business into other regions or states or perhaps even globally? Do you want to expand and grow your brand and reputation? Or it might just be that you want to know that you can leave your business for extended periods of time while you're out there seeking new opportunities or taking those regular family overseas holidays you've promised yourself and your family but have only talked, only talked or dreamed of until now. Whatever your ultimate outcomes are, you need to be really clear and focused about those outcomes because they are your why. They're why am I doing this? How will this benefit me and my business? And then you've got to be prepared to take the leap and bring about some change. So you might have identified that your team aren't making the most effective use of their time or that perhaps they're a little bit complacent in the way they manage their tasks. Introducing change is going to be challenging and you need to be prepared for a little bit of pushback from them, especially if you don't involve your team in the improvement process. And obviously, I highly recommend that you do involve them. You need to remember that your team members are probably doing the best that they can with the resources that they actually have available to them at the time. So if you're going to bring about change or you're wanting to bring about change, you need to stay positive and stay on course. But most importantly, you need to explain why there's a need for the improvement or the change, why the current systems or way of doing things need to be changed, how changing those things are going to make things easier and better for everyone, what the outcomes are that you're wanting to achieve, and why. You're going to have to make sure that your team understand that the changes are in fact inevitable, but that they are positive and that without change, none of us are ever going to move forward. And you need to make it clear that you need their help to make sure you achieve the outcomes that you're wanting to build the great business. So invite them to contribute to the change. Ask for and work through their suggestions for systemising improvements. After all, they're the ones at the coalface. They're the ones doing the do. So if anyone's going to be able to identify the problems and issues or suggest positive changes that might work, it's the people actually doing the job. And then you need to model the attitudes and the behaviour that you expect from your team. Show them how you want things done. And if you give your team the modelling, the resources and the training that they need to bring in these processes and systems as seamlessly as possible, then it's just going to go so much more smoothly for you. Now, as you work with your team to develop, introduce and implement any new systems and processes, you're going to need to identify a list of what's important to you in those processes, in those systems, and what isn't. So for example, with processes, if we skip a step in this process, what's the impact of that down the line? If I forget to fill in this bit of paper and pass it on to this particular person, what is that going to be? What is the roll-on effect going to have down the line to other things and other areas of the business? What's really going to benefit your customers and allow you to provide better service? You've got to be really clear around these criteria. And when we're talking about systems or software systems, what's essential? We touched on a little bit of this before. Is it essential that they integrate with your other software programs to eliminate the double handling issues? So whatever you enter in one automatically updates another. Is it important that they deliver the information you need in a format that you need, that they do it simply, effectively, efficiently, that you can customise this software to a certain degree, and more importantly, add your own logo and branding to it? So what is useful? What can be uploaded and perhaps filed within the system? It might be your client documents, it might be records of emails, that get loaded within the system so they're readily accessible and they're all stored in one place. And what's really unnecessary, which might, for example, be perhaps a quoting or a proposal feature in a customer relationship management program when you've already got a really effective one in your financial accounting package. That's just doubling up. And also, how will the systems you choose impact your business? How will they impact your business reputation, your customer service expectations, etc. You've got to choose your systems with these things in mind. Now, I can provide you with some templates and some training materials to help you get real clarity around these things, but we'll talk more about that later. So once you've got your criteria set out, then you get your team to help you draw up the processes or to research and hunt down the best available system options for your business based on the criteria. This is not stuff you need to do. Get them involved. Get them doing the work. Get them excited about it. Give them some ownership of the change, of course with your guidance, and you can go off and do something else. And then let them come back to you with their suggestions showing how they meet the criteria that you've all asked for. But be aware you might still get a little bit of pushback along the way. So recognise what will work and what won't work. Be prepared to accept alternate suggestions and be ready for that pushback from your team, because there might still be some unhappy campers and they might be looking for reassurance that their jobs are safe. They might feel that they're under threat, that introducing time-saving systems and processes, they need to know that it doesn't mean they'll be out of a job. So you might get asked, why and what? Why are we doing this? What's wrong with what we do now? If it isn't broken, why are we trying to fix it? Why is this procedure important? What's its purpose? Who does this apply to? Who needs to follow it? Who has to learn the system? Who's got responsibility for what? How do we go about it? What are the steps that we have to take to put it in place? Where do we go to look for the related resources? And in fact, what tools and resources have we got or do we need to get the task done properly? And what if something goes wrong? What if I don't have the authority or access to get what I need and you're not here? And even authority levels, you know, well, what does each person have the authority to do? What don't they have to do? So, for example, approving paying bills or approving payroll or handling cash, etc. But you know what? Don't get caught up in the detail. Encourage and invite them to work with you on building the answers to those questions, on building the processes and the systems that will work for everyone. And be prepared to change as needed. Systems and processes are always a work in progress. You won't always get them right the first time, and you might end up having to change them. New technologies, new best practice techniques, these things continue to evolve and you've got to be able to adapt with them. So talk and work through these process and system options with your team to make sure they really meet your criteria. Mind you, you can do this hands off. You've done your part now. You're just reminding them to keep an eye on it and you're also reminding them that you're keeping an eye on it. Stay positive, encouraging and open to suggestion. Be aware of how receptive you are to their suggestions. Even if you don't believe a suggestion is going to work, first try it out before discarding it. For one, it's going to show the staff member that you respect their input. And also, you might be surprised. But if you're not, just make sure you explain why the suggestion won't work and come up with an alternative solution for them to work on. Remain flexible and keep looking to improve. Try to be proactive, not reactive. And model your expectations. Lead by example. Model the service, the attitudes, the behaviour you want to see in your team. That way you're going to keep your team and your customers happy. You're going to make the best use of your time. In fact, best use of your team's time. You're going to be managing risk within your business. You're going to be gaining invaluable training and resource guides. And you're going to be delegating, that's a no-brainer. So your team members are going to be more efficient in their roles with these systems and processes in place. So lead from a stance of excellence. I want excellence for my business. I want my team to demand that same excellence of themselves, of the systems, of the processes that we put in place in this business. And then you can start planning your future, your best year yet, your tropical escape. And just on that, I've actually got a fantastic opportunity for you. So how would it be if you could design a phenomenal year for your business, your best year yet, and do it across 5 days, poolside, seaside, in luxury at a tropical island paradise? Well, that's what we've got on offer in May this year. What we're doing is we're taking, well, when I say we, it's myself and 4 other masters in developing and implementing an environment and culture of success around things like mindset, planning, digital and web-based marketing, and of course systemising your business. We're taking a group of motivated business builders to a tropical island in Thailand to work on unlocking the full potential of their businesses and building their ultimate personal success. So we're doing this, as I mentioned, across 5 balmy days and nights at a 5-star resort in Thailand, where together we're going to work with you to create and complete a very comprehensive plan for your best year yet. And we'd love to have you join us. Now, this program is by application only, and it's your chance to seize the opportunity to create your exceptional business future. But places are strictly limited, so you need to jump in early. Now, the trip itself is valued at over $12,000, and it includes all of your travel, all of your airport transfers and accommodation transfers. And in fact, your accommodation, which is, as I mentioned, 5-star in deluxe jacuzzi suites. It includes all your trainings and all the training materials. You'll get a gourmet breakfast and lunch every day. You'll get morning and afternoon tea every day. And you'll have full access to the range of sporting facilities, recreational facilities, the pampering and relaxing activities that are all provided at the resort and on the island. Oh gosh, I wish I was there now. And because you've demonstrated your desire to really take control and grow your business, we're offering you this fantastic experience, but for a very limited time only, for just $6,327. That's less than half price. Now, this offer expires at the end of March, so you're going to need to be quick. So if you copy this URL link, if you can, or write it down and enter it into your favourite search engine for more information, for the terms and also for the application form. I really hope you'll join us for this unique hands-on development experience. So once again, the URL link is at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to note it down. And I'd like to take the time once again to thank you for joining me today to find out more about systemising your business and the 5 principles of success that go around systemising your business. I've also got a couple of useful resources that I'll forward to you by email shortly, and you can use these to get started, so keep your eye out for that. So I think that's probably enough from me. Does anyone have any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions before we give this a wrap. No? All good? Well, let me just say the next steps in systemising your business are actually the hands-on steps, and I've got lots of tools and tips around that. So stay tuned. I'll be bringing more of that kind of information your way, or if you come to Thailand with us, then you're going to get all that on hand there. And that's really, I guess, it for today. So thank you once again. Yes, oh, thank you. I do have a question here. Yes, I do help with developing your processes at the event. We actually work through your criteria to make sure that they ring true and real for your business, that they're a fit for your business, that they're not just something that you're dreaming of, they're something that you realistically and truly want to achieve. And once we've done that, we then start the work on actually going through the tools and things or using the tools, using the templates to make that a whole lot easier. And in fact, it automates a little bit of it, or quite a bit of it. And we work around putting the processes and the procedures in place and how we choose to implement those processes and procedures. For example, they don't have to be written documents as standalone. They can be videos. A lot of people like to learn by doing, by seeing, by feeling. So we can create some fun videos on how we go about this. And once again, your team get involved in this and they help you create how we do this particular task. And that's not expensive to do. That's not using special equipment. Everybody's got a mobile phone. You can film it on your mobile phone. There's lots of free software out there that you can download that will film what's on your computer screen at a time and record your voice while you're doing it. So there's a myriad of ways that you can actually present this information for your team and store it in a way that's really, really easy for them to access no matter where they are. Now, Peter wanted to know what other systems we should be looking at apart from the finance system, and that's a really good question. Now, I have 5 key systems that I think are really important, and they are: 1, your financial accounting package, so that you know exactly where you are financially and can make your business decisions around that. A customer relationship management program. That's going to store all the data about your customers. That's going to record every transaction you have with them, how often they buy from you, what they buy from you, what their needs are, what are their preferences around what they buy. All really valuable information so that you can market directly to them. And speaking of marketing, marketing is another system. So a means of keeping in regular contact with your clients or with possible potential clients, and this can be digital marketing. So you can be doing this through Facebook, you can be doing this web-based, and we're going to have an expert with us in Thailand that can teach you everything about this, about what content, how to write the content to engage the people to purchase from you, how to use social media systems and your web to turn it into a sales platform for you. And speaking of that, we're also going to have an expert in writing with us. So if writing's not your forte, it's not your strength, and you think the thought of writing ads, writing blogs, words, advertising throws you into tears, we're going to have someone there at Thailand that will do that for you. So another system would be project and task development. So a means of allocating and delegating the work through your team so they know what's expected of them, where to access the information that they need, what's involved in the project, the steps from go to woe, how their part fits into the project. And you can see all of this at a glance in that software. Now, interestingly, CRMs, marketing software and project software can sometimes, and in fact often, be all built in to one system. And there's a few out there that do that. They might be a little bit more expensive because they do have all three functions built into them, but they don't have to be expensive. There is so much choice out there for these kind of systems. The last and the most important system that I think everybody should have is what I call a knowledge hub. And that knowledge hub is your processes and procedures. It's your guide to how your business runs. It's the key to your operation. It's how McDonald's works. It's how Apple works. It's how that serviced office system I was telling you before works. Everybody knows exactly what is expected of them. They know what they can and they can't do. They know how they're expected to approach customers. They know what they're expected to say. They know what to do and how to act if things go wrong, if they get a difficult customer, if someone suggests something outside of the square. There is that knowledge available to them in a hub that they can access anywhere, anytime, very easily and in varying formats. So that will be another one that we'll cover there. So to get started with processes, I think if you haven't got anything in place already, the best way to do this, and again, I do have a template that can help you with this, which I will provide to you a little down the track. Firstly, sit down, make a list of everything that you personally do in a day. Every little thing from opening emails to checking on your salespeople to absolutely everything that you do in a day. Doesn't matter how small it is. And on the left-hand side of that list, write down how much you actually enjoy doing that particular thing. So, for example, it might be client meetings and sales, and you might be awesome at that. So if you are, write that down. Just write awesome. Or it might be that that's something you really dislike, so write hate. Or it might be something that you do well, but you're really neither here nor there about, and frankly you'd rather someone else did for you. So you could write something like ambivalent. I'm ambivalent about whether I do it or not. What we're doing by doing this is saying whether what we're doing is the best use of our time. So after you've written your list and you've assigned a feeling, and limit those feelings, limit it to say 3 or 4. So awesome, ambivalent, don't like, and hate, for example. And then list those down the left-hand side. On the right-hand side of your list, next to each item, write down where that particular task actually fits into the big scheme of things. And again, limit yourself to some categories. So they might be admin, even if you don't have an admin team, but you might want one. It might be finance, it might be sales, it might be marketing, it might be management, it might be systems. There's 6 off the top of my head. Try to limit them. Try not to have any more than 6 and write those down next to each of the things you've got on your list. From there on in, you've got the clear setup to tell you where to start in creating your processes, which is going to be with the things you hate the most, and then going to the things that you perhaps don't like, and then the things that you're ambivalent about, because they're the things you need to get rid of first. Once you've got rid of those, you're only doing the things that you actually enjoy doing, and you've got time to do the other things. So that's going to be your starting point. Hope that makes sense there. Now, do we have any other questions? Sorry, I'm just scooting through. Okay. No, I think that might be about it, everyone. So thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to hearing from you, and please feel free to shoot me a question to my website, visit my website, keep an eye out for my blogs, and by all means join us in Thailand. Take that opportunity. Thanks so much, everyone. Okay, bye.